Hi everybody, it's me Marco again. Well, not again, it's for the first time. It's me, Marco. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna be talking to you a bit about my reaction to The Boy and the Heron by Hayao Miyazaki. And just so you know a little bit about me, my name is Marco Barrios. I am a singer-songwriter and I sing for a living. I teach music as well, but primarily I perform throughout South Florida in different venues. A lot of Frank Sinatra, Michael Bublé music. My biggest inspiration is Billy Joel. Taylor Swift has also been very influential to me as of late. And I'm making this video. I wanted to start a channel to share with the people my thoughts on this. Definitely put my 2 cents on what I think is of help to somebody out there, or you know, just that we can connect and empathize on something that we love or care about. In this case, Studio Ghibli. So, The Boy and the Heron. I've been so excited for this movie. Anytime that a teaser has come out, I'm even subscribed to the notifications that you get online. So, oh, the IMAX premiere, preview screenings, and I'm like, alright, let's go for it. And I saw it this past Tuesday with my sister and my mom, and I went in so excited, and I came out so not excited. It was disappointing. I know that there are probably people screaming out loud, and a part of me is screaming in the inside as well. And I think I am subject as well a little bit to being influenced by the critical acclaim, actually. Oftentimes I've seen Ghibli films with either my mom or my sister. They go like, oh, this one, that's too much, or that one is too much as far as what's going on. I'm like, no, you guys don't get it. But this one, I think I see where they're coming from. By the way, this will contain spoilers, just so we can really get into it. Pedro, you said it was okay.
I'm here.
Okay, he is here. He's behind the camera. You guys have to check out Ironious Media. Do yourselves a favor and do that. Boy and the Heron. It's about this young boy named Mahito. His mother has passed away in a hospital fire, and so he and his father move into a new town outside of Tokyo with this new woman who is supposed to be his new mom, and she's actually carrying his new baby brother or baby sister. Mahito moves into this beautiful picturesque house in Japan. Right when they arrive, apparently there's this heron that has lived there for a while. He sees Mahito, and then he starts getting in his way, not very subtly from the very beginning. He like flies right by him, and slowly but surely he starts incorporating himself a bit more and getting in his way a bit more and more. The movie, it starts off with a great premise. It's gorgeous. I want to live in one of those houses. It's beautiful, and the music, it's just as I'm a big Joe Hisaishi fan. If you can't tell, I don't know if you can see it in the frame. Oh, you're gonna pan it or do the thing.
Yeah, it's literally right on top of you.
There it is. Love that man and his music. And as I said before, if I could be a baby between Billy Joel and Joe Hisaishi, that's what I'm trying to be in this world. His music in this film is nothing short of the great, exquisite work that it has been in previous films. And so is the animation, the expression of characters. However, it builds up in this great way. It's got these characters and these dynamics. Mahito doesn't really care about his mom. Well, not his mom, about his new mother, Natsuke. He doesn't call her mother at all, and he's just very apathetic towards her. I do think the character of Mahito is very interesting. He is self-sufficient. He's traumatized, and we see that, and he expresses that, or the film puts that to us in a very beautiful way, be it through dream sequences or just him waking up with tears in his eyes. It's very moving. So the movie has a lot of things going for it. However, it's when the movie introduces this aspect of a tower, and they go into this tower because Natsuke got lost in that tower, that the movie then starts losing it for me. Because then the movie, I think one of the words that I come out with is disjointed. It starts off as one thing, and then it becomes this other thing that at the end of the day introduces so many different aspects that it's kind of like you walk out and you don't really know what the movie is about. The heron starts talking at some point before they go into this tower, and he's like, oh, Mahito, your mother, she's waiting for you. And so that's a big drive for the movie. They go into the tower, and then they're like, oh, never mind, your mother, like, you know, she melts away, it's not real. Mahito gets upset, reasonably so. Why was that a hook for him? Why was he even trying to get the Mahito there in the first place? As I think we figure out later on in the movie, there's this grand uncle who's kind of like the lord, the overseer, the god in other words. So perhaps he was under the god's command to get Mahito into the tower, to go into the tower, and now the story shifts from Mahito wanting to get his mom to like, okay, I gotta find Natsuki because my dad really likes her. And so he goes into this world, but then this is where the disjointedness really starts to come alive. There's a good part where they just spend time fishing, and then from the fishing, he randomly meets a girl, Himi, a young woman who is, I don't know if the word is pyrotechnic, but she can, I don't know what the term is in fantasy for somebody that can manipulate fire. I know it's pyro something. He meets her, and then they start going through the tower, and then there's a bunch of parakeets, but you don't really understand why the parakeets have now become human-like. They get human-like features. And then his granduncle, and he's like, oh, you have to take care of my world. Will you be my successor? It has to be someone from my bloodline. But then Himi gets captured, and then they're like, oh, we're offering her as sacrifice for leverage. The tower is a sentient being, and there's another scene that explains that it came from outer space, and that there's a rock that gives you powers. Do you see where I'm going at with this? It just doesn't make a lot of, huh? Hopefully you can catch from my own tone of voice in telling you all of this, is that what's going on? I could kind of feel in the air. It was such an empty theater at the time, but even with just my sister and my mom, my sister, she just put up her sweater and like closed it so she would knock out, taking a nap in the theater. Now, if you know Miyazaki and his previous films, his other films, one is to expect that there will be places where you have to fill in the holes for yourself, and that's something that I've come to terms with and I've accepted, and I think it's fulfilling. Even then, I see films as a frame. A film, there's a life before the film and after the film. For all we know, things happen to the characters after, but they just haven't made those movies, and that's okay. In the context of what's going on in the movie as we're witnessing it, I don't know what this movie is about. It's definitely dealing with the loss and coming to terms with moving on for Mahito. I think we can definitely resonate with that for him, but it's only really from the first third of the movie. I don't know who it's serving, and some people will say, just take it for what it is. When you go watch Kiki's Delivery Service or even Howl's Moving Castle, I think those come out with messages that are much more clearer and palatable to one. Kiki's Delivery Service is really about maturity. You really see her struggle but grow and persevere even when she's at her lowest, but you take away like, times are rough but we're gonna be okay. Howl's Moving Castle, Miyazaki has said it's one of his favorite films. It's about really appreciating life and Sophie's journey of how she doesn't appreciate herself all that much, lacks self-esteem. It's really painful to see, but you see how she fully embraces who she is, especially at the end when she goes like to Hal, oh my gosh, your hair, it's like starlight. It's like, right, I love it. This movie takes a journey, but there are so many jarring things that don't make sense within each character's personal journey as well as the plot. I'm all for suspension of disbelief. I'm all for fantasy and fiction, but it all has to correlate. There is this invisible thread that holds things together. And the plot here, it loses itself. It undoes itself. The movie also just ends abruptly. It ends abruptly. He's just like, and then a year after, we move back to Tokyo. And then the end, huh? It's just, what? I mean, were they really that tired in the studio? I don't know. Picture quality, it's a gorgeous film. Really, I'm seeing it, especially in an IMAX theater, it's really fantastic. My first time seeing a Ghibli film like that. I would do it again for the visual aspect because it's just really a beautiful film. The music as well, the theme, just how the music accompanies the characters through whatever they're going to. Again, Joe Hisaishi is a master of that, and you can hear the minimalism in there, and it never feels like too much or that it gets in the way. Point is, the music is gorgeous. The characters, I think each in their own right is very captivating, and the voice cast, they do a great job. Oh, the group of the grannies, adorable. But where the story really loses me, it's the story and the plot and just the 2/3 that follow. It's a long film as well. It's 2 hours and 4 minutes, which, now that I think about it, I mean, that's a standard time for a lot of moving pictures, and I don't mind long films. I am such a fan of long films, including but not limited to The Lord of the Rings, The Godfather. The issues never length, it's about the content that justifies that length. This movie felt like 30 minutes too long. They could have done more with less. I think the movie would have worked a bit better if they focused more on maybe the boy and the heron. That's another aspect. The boy and the heron, they do spend a degree of time together, but I wouldn't call it a substantial amount of time. The heron just disappears for a while to do God knows what for considerable periods of time. I think it would have been interesting if it had been more of a game between them two. Really drive home the mother aspect. It just, oh, that was a bloof, and that's it. It was a gimmick, in other words. Something that only has use for one time and one purpose, and that's it. Guys, I don't think I can add anything else to this video. I definitely, for my Ghibli fans, definitely check out the film so you have your own take, your own appreciation of it. I've seen friends through my own social medias, they're enjoying the film. I don't feel that same way. Some reviews that I've heard, you'll hear from a few of them like, there's a lot going on here, or they're like, oh, it's Miyazaki. I'm not here to just watch things happen to people. I'm here to understand why and grow with them. But if you can't help me do that because you've got all of these parakeets that just show up out of nowhere and that there's no reason for them being there. Yes, it's a world that they're building and they want to defend, but it's just like, what does this have to do with the boy and the heron? What is this movie about? I still don't know. But it's just, what journey did we take to get there? It's like, we just like, oh my gosh, it's like, no, but it wasn't even fun. It was not a fun roller coaster. It's like, the seats are gorgeous, you know, and the sky is great, but it's just like, you can't help but feel a little nauseated as you're driving through it, well, riding on it. Guys, that's all I have to say for this film. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Am I a little bit at my own island, in my own tower, in my own mentality that this is perhaps one of his more disappointing films? Or do you think that Miyazaki could maybe help us a bit and just putting things a bit more together and making a story that we can all learn to love and cherish and learn from? Please like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned. I'll be posting new videos shortly. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next video. Take care.